good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you guys. This is my first moto vlog, and boy, I'm probably going to screw this all up, but hey, I'm going to give it my best old college try. Now, I have never done a moto vlog ever, but I'm going to see how this works, because the BBC is out of commission for now. Needs a new transmission, and I think the best thing for me to do is to try my hand at this until I get the BBC fixed, get that new transmission in. So once again, thank you for joining me. I have a 2015 Victory Magnum Arlen Ness edition. And I can tell you this much, I really love this bike. Now, I've been through quite a few bikes in my time. I've had Harleys, I've had Yamaha, you name it, had them all. Sport bikes, cruisers, bobbers. Haven't had a chopper. Never really was too interested in choppers, but I've had pretty much every kind of bike you can think of. And I really have to say that of all the bikes I've ever owned, I've owned two Victories. Victories have been my favorite bikes. I have never had an issue with this bike. This bike has never given me a problem. Even the other Victory I had was immaculate. It was just bulletproof, the Victories are. Now, I had Harleys, but they were so much of a pain in the ass because, you know, Harley-Davidson really doesn't too much care a lot about its customers the way that they should with the amount of money that you spend for a Harley. And when something goes wrong, oh man, they just aren't, I mean, maybe it's dealership, you know, oriented more than anything, you know, to where a lot of dealerships just don't treat their customers very well, which gives Harley a bad name in some cases. I'm not sure, but I know my experience with Harley-Davidson was not too great. I can say this though, Victory's never given me a problem. The only issue I've ever had with this bike whatsoever was the clutch. The clutch went out on me, it was going bad, and I replaced it with a high performance clutch, which I think was, I don't know if, you know, the Victor dealership when they put it on didn't set the proper springs in it or whatever, I don't know. But I didn't like that. Took that clutch off, stuck it in my garage, and got a stock OEM clutch, and let me tell you, perfect. Not a problem since then. Haven't had not a single issue, none. And I can say this to you: if you want a good motorcycle that'll never give you an issue, if you can find an old Victory sitting around somewhere somebody wants to sell, I would highly suggest that you take it. You will not be disappointed. I have put 50,000, almost 45,000 miles almost on this bike, and I haven't had an issue. Not a single solitary issue, just the clutch. I'm a replace stuff before it gets bad type person if I can help it. I replace all my brakes all the time. I replace the tires when they get low. You know, it's all about maintenance, of course. I use the best oil that I can, and I'm fairly meticulous about the bike because I don't want it to have any issues. But I would suggest that if you have a bike and you're looking to get a different one, if you can find a Victory, I can give you some suggestions. Any Victory, there you go. That's the suggestion. Any Victory. If you can find one, get it. A lot of people aren't wanting to give up their Victories, so good luck. But if you can find one, get it. They are phenomenal bikes. I can assure you, you'll never have an issue with them if they've been properly maintained and you take good care of them. And they are like a low maintenance bike. I mean, you're not going to have the, you know, the basic Harley problems that you always have. You know, you just can't go wrong. But this 2015 Victory Magnum is immaculate. I've got like a 1200 watt stereo on the bike. I'd love to play you guys some music, but you know how YouTube is. They like to demonetize and smack people around for no reason, especially a small channel like mine. They seem to hunt us down and do all kinds of nasty stuff, and I don't want to have to go through that just for playing a little bitty snippet of snippet of music, you know, for you guys' enjoyment, which I'd love to do, but not gonna take a chance. They mess with me enough. I got some nice Freedom exhaust pipes on here, full exhaust. Sounds phenomenal, love them. They sound awesome. I have cams on the bike. I have some Lloyd's cams, and yeah, they do the trick. I've done a few other things to the engine which I'll keep to myself, but this bike is dynoed at almost 120 horsepower, and it is a monster. It's fast. If I need to be fast, it's fast. But since I use it just to cruise around, and for now, getting back and forth to work, well, it does its job. Still gets great gas mileage. I can get 40-50 miles to the gallon and have absolutely no issues whatsoever with this bike. So once again, I'll tell you, you can find one, get it. All the little doodads that I want on this bike, I'm not that much of a giant front tire, giant wide back tire guy. I'm not trying to show out for anybody. I don't need attention like that. I'm kind of sort of an adult, so I'm not an attention seeker, but I do like my bike to be clean and look nice and sound good. So stereo for me was a must, exhaust was a must, cam was a must. So those are kind of sort of the small things. Oh, and I've got a nice shock on this. I think it's called a Penske shock. It's fairly expensive shock, but I'm glad I did. The stock shock wasn't too bad. It was an air shock, but you know, it's like you want something that's gonna last you a while, still do the job, and be comfortable, and that's adjustable. So I would highly suggest that once I get home, I'll make sure and you know, put down what type of shock it is, and you know, put a link in the description for you guys if you're interested in getting one yourself. I have a 1200 watts Hercules amplifier in this bike from Hyphonics. I have all my speakers, every single one of them is Hertz speakers. So if you want great sound on your bike, I'm going to tell you to get Hertz speakers. They sound great. And my second choice for speakers would be Polk Audio. Polk Audio makes great speakers for bikes. I've heard some Polk Audios that are just amazing. So I would do that. I have a 8-inch subwoofer in one of the bags, and I put all this stuff in myself, and it sounds really good. You'd be amazed. I mean, you get a lot of bass rumble out of it. You know, you can feel it more than you can hear it, but it's worth it. It's worth putting a little bit of stereo on your bike. I'm kind of the stereo guy, so I guess that's my thing. Get a stereo on your bike so you're not listening to yourself ramble on like I'm doing now. In Arizona, the weather's phenomenal right now. It's great. It's about 77 in the mid to high 70s right now. There's no rain in the forecast in the foreseeable forecast for now. So prime riding weather. So if you have a bike and you're out here in Arizona, especially if you're in the Phoenix area, and my back holds up, which I've had a back injury, and I get better, hey, look me up. You know, we'll hit some twisties, you know, because this bike does handle twisties quite well. You know, hit a couple of lakes, maybe some mountains, you know, hit a couple of desert straights and stretches out there, go hit Sedona, Flagstaff, Prescott, whatever it is you guys like to do. I'll be hitting a couple of those rides anyway this summer, hopefully, and I'll bring you, ladies and gentlemen, along with me. So if you have a bike, ladies and gentlemen, you're out in this area, look me up on YouTube, Big Black Corvette, and yes, I do have a bike. Look me up, and I'll be happy to go out and take a ride with you and meet some new people, because I love doing that, and we'll try to make a great ride out of it, and maybe I can find some new spots, and if you know any good spots, I'll be happy to go with you, and I'll show you some of the spots that I know, and we can just make a day out of it, hit some lunch or whatever, and just have a great time with it. Back on the bike. Love this bike to death. Don't know how to say it more. It is quite feisty, to say the least. Oh, and it gets up and goes. Even in 6th gear, just rolling on, you know, and it just, lots of torque. Torquey bike. What I've noticed about it is, most of the times when I'm riding with other people, like the American Legion, because I'm part of that. When I'm riding with a lot of guys, they have like these huge 140 3, 107, whatever the heck, Harleys. And even when my bike was stock, I was just leaving these guys in the dust, and they were just having these confused looks on their face. I'm still not saying Harleys are bad bikes, but just the way Harleys are made versus the way a Victory or an Indian is made, it's complete night and day. I mean, if you want a lot, want a lot of cubes but no horsepower and no torque, get a Harley. If you want a, good sized cubic inch motor, this is a 107, and you want a lot of torque and you want a lot of horsepower, just stock from the factory, Victories and Indians are a way to go. If you want to do some modifications, and I mean just the lightest, even just a cam, even with the stock exhaust and the air cleaner on this thing, you still get crazy horsepower. You can get 110, 100 horsepower, no problem. But you do a few other things, exhaust, little tuning. I had this one dyno tuned, and a few other engine little goodies and stuff. These bikes just run like a stabbed rat. Bike that I'd love to get. I'm really interested in an Indian now. There's a guy who parks next to me whenever I ride my bike, when I ride the bike to work, and he's a Victory guy, and he's got a white Victory Magnum, and he got into a little bit of an accident. He kept the Victory, there was just a little damage to the saddlebags, but he bought an Indian Challenger. Oh my gosh, it's this weird gray looking color, don't know the name of the color, but it is beautiful. Black accents. He's got every little doodad and bell and whistle you can get on the bike for his model, and man, it is pretty. Sounds great. He still has a stock exhaust on it, but it sounds great. Lots of horsepower. Oh man, I'm really itching to just get on one of those bikes and probably add it to my stable. Just 2 bikes, can't go wrong. Just have a little bit of variety. I'm kind of into the bagger thing now. Well, okay, guy, we'll just, I guess you want this lane. I'm gonna let you have it. Alright. Hopefully no one will run me down here. That's kind of it's just a game of almost cat and mouse, where you're just constantly dodging these cages who are doing their level best to put you in the obits. I did not want to be front page news at all from somebody smacking me with their car. So once again, like I said, be extra cautious, because these cages, a lot of the cage drivers, they don't really care. Really? Like I said, you gotta watch the cages. They have no idea what they're doing. I always like the Avon tires because I feel they're the best. Metzlers and Avons are they're the two that I always buy. If I can afford the Avons, I get them, or the Metzlers. Those are the only 2 types of tires that I'll put on my bike, because I just do not really care for any other type of tire. I haven't been happy with any other tires that I've put on my motorcycles, and those 2 brands have just, for me, have been the best. Once again, if I get, now I'm not going to say if, I am going to get an Indian, and when I do, you guys are coming with me. And we'll try to make some fun of it, take some suggestions on some parts, here and there. Gonna make it cool. We'll make sure and bring you guys along for some rides with us. And hopefully have some fun. Man, this bike just hauls ass, and that was like high 4th gear, just loped into it. It still got into traffic pretty quick, and it wasn't even really on it too hard. Made about 40-50% throttle, and I love this bike. It just gets up and goes. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please be safe out there. Enjoy your ride. Keep a rubber side on the road. Hey, you don't have to speed and go fast and all that stuff and do crazy stuff. It's really not that important. If you want to stunt, put it on the track, put it at stunt venues. But if you're going to do that, please be careful anyway. And remember, you're not the only person on the highway or the road. And not everybody's watching out for you. You got to watch out for yourself. Also, if you're going to speed, do your best to keep it under 100. However, if you cannot keep it under 100, remember, it's your ticket. You're going to have to pay it. great day.